A few weeks ago, I went for a walk with a group of friends, and at one point, a boy's mother said to me, "Do you know what my son asked me? Mom, how does one live like this?" The question, "But where did your son come up with this question?" I don't know. But how your son asks you such a question and you let it go without tightening. Where did this image come from? Then, yes, I will ask what is there. There was the boy, and at a certain point, he intercepted him, "Stefan, where did this question come from?" He says, looking at my mom, and I say, "Do you realize that the answer to this question of yours is right in front of you? Because you, without seeing Mom, wouldn't even dream of asking this question. This question arose for you because you have seen a way of living that seems to you, among everything you see in the landscape, a way of living the reality that you would like to experience yourself. So, this boy did not go to take a course for who knows what, living his drama as a boy, as a man. He intercepted in life a presence that was a beloved voice of support. But before supporting it, he recognized a diversity. He recognized something where he found a glimmer of an answer to his human need. Because there are so many ways of living that do not provoke this question. And so, it can be said that in the environment in which each person lives, there are indeed individuals who have a greater sensitivity to the human experience, which effectively develop a greater understanding of the environment and people, and consequently provoke movement more easily and more comprehensively. They live our experience as men more intensely, more engaged, and one feels better with them. And so, one seeks their company, their companionship. Recognizing this in these people, first is a gift that you intercept them like the boy who spots them amidst the chaos in which he lives, who can identify among many faces a face that inspires a beloved desire to live because he sees a person living in this chaos where he finds that a way of living is more suitable, more corresponding, more human than many others he sees around. This is what is usually called authority, a word that is often used in such a blunt way that it has nothing to do with what it truly is, because authority comes from something that makes you emerge, that helps you grow, that attracts you, because it embodies a humanity that you would like to live. And so, why is authority like this? It arises as a wealth of experience that imposes itself on others generating novelty, wonder, and respect. But does this intercept it? Who intercepts this? Those who have engaged with their own humanity and have realized that not all ways of living are the same will at a certain point, unexpectedly find someone there, in fact, someone whose way of living they would like to adopt. For this reason, the encounter with this natural authority educates us, revealing that it is possible to live in a way that embraces our humanity, which is within reach, because I see it in another. I don't know how it came about, but how is it possible to live this way? And for this reason, the more one lives this, the more one is challenged by people who live in reality under the same circumstances as everyone else. They do not live in the convent. They do not live in the desert. They live in the same circumstances as everyone else, but with an intelligence, with a capacity to be in reality, with a serenity, with a peace, with a joy that is visible. It is not something that can be imagined. It is seen. Eugene, Daniel's brother, was telling me about a sick girl he met among seriously ill patients who cannot see. She cannot see. But what might she have perceived of another's humanity? What she says is, I want to die as soon as possible and go with you to the other side, to the other shore, because I want to see your face, because there I will no longer be blind. That is, she cannot see, but she sees more than those of us who have eyes. She wishes to see his face because life is seen in the sparkle of. So, this is what we call true authority. If I don't care, yes, you don't like this because it's not politically correct, delete it, but you can't erase the fact that one encounters these situations. The problem is whether we redefine the questions not based on the image we create for ourselves, but from the experience we encounter. For this reason, we must ultimately decide whether to indeed follow it or not. This is our problem. What does all this mean? I don't want to go on too long so as not to wear out your patience. Third step, it means that our humanity is not a problem, but a resource. Because only those who are engaged with life can intercept this present. And only if each of us is engaged, will we be able to have the human genius that is not some extraordinary gift. No, but our own humanity that has emerged from our own experience through whatever we live. If we become aware of what Ernesto is saying, this awareness of ourselves emerges. We have the genius to intercept what can truly begin to be an answer. Because without this, we will not be able to intercept ourselves or others. This is clearly evident. Many times, when someone goes through a moment of difficulty, discomfort, or confusion, they don't know which way to turn. It can lead to 1,000 thoughts. In the end, a decision is made, but who can lend me a hand? Look for everyone. You know, someone who understands something, is available, has the ability to embrace my humanity, which I am unable to do, right? Finally, decide, I'm going to this. He starts to talk, and after 20 minutes, as he begins to struggle, to share his discomfort and concerns, he stops and asks, do you understand me? He says, of course I understand you. And you realize that you don't understand a thing? Desire alone is not enough to understand. Willingness alone is not enough to understand. Good intentions alone are not enough to understand another. Because we feel understood, we thank the other for their willingness. But this doesn't understand what I'm telling her, how she reacts to certain things I'm saying. Why? Because we will never feel understood unless it is someone who has something of us, something of the human experience that is within us. Because if the person listening to someone does not have something within themselves that somehow brings them closer to the other person's experience, they will be unable to grasp the meaning of any word. And so for this reason, loneliness grows, because beyond the damage to the Vefa, beyond living this situation, when I try to share it with someone, they don't understand. But she does not understand, not because she lacks goodwill or all these things, but because there is a lack of awareness of the human experience that prevents her from grasping the human experience. I am communicating to her so, you understand why it is a resource? Only those who have this experience of their own humanity will be able to perceive the needs of others through the signs that I see, which are like indicators of the problems and issues that are resonating within that boy, that child, that colleague, or that friend. For this reason, guys, we cannot engage in education. If we want to understand, guys, if we do not engage with our own humanity, it is not an ornament, and we cannot achieve it by taking a course. We must accompany ourselves in living our humanity. Because of this, in our emerging educational context and that of others, it is better to close the place down because we waste time and make others waste theirs. If we do not want to waste time living, it is easy to lose to others. We can only make a real contribution to others and meet their needs if we live our own humanity. And that's why many things I learned from living stay with me. I learned them from others. I repeat them millions of times, and the others from whom I learned don't even realize what has happened to me. I had a conversation, one I already mentioned, with a mother who was sharing her concerns about certain work-related and emotional issues. And I was trying to help her understand what the core of the matter was, what her deep need was, and that this wouldn't be a problem with work or relationships, that there was something deeper. However, I was realizing how much I was struggling to help her. To cross the Ganges, the fog, the stubbornness. At a certain moment in the dialogue, there is a turn, because she starts talking to me about her daughter, and the daughter comes back one day from school and says, "Mom, the teacher made us talk about what we needed to be happy." And there they had organized the discussion, each one saying and I realized, hearing all my friends and companions, that I actually lack nothing. I feel heard. I feel loved by you. I lack nothing. Then he said, "Mom, but I am sad." I asked him, "Do you have something to say to your daughter?" I tell him, "Do you realize that if you don't understand your problem, you won't understand your daughter either? What makes you see that you don't understand her? Do you know what she told her? 'But my daughter, you will never be satisfied.'" A mom who says this to her daughter is someone who hasn't understood about life. She did not understand the essence of the problem of her own humanity. So, it's not that I was saying this, that if we try to connect with the kids or with our children, this feeling of our own humanity and perceiving our own humanity is just an ornament. No. If we do not even communicate with our children, it is because Mom, not having understood the essence of the problem of humanity, of her own humanity, is unable to grasp what her daughter is saying. This is why it is a dialogue between the deaf, because the daughter finally has the courage to speak to Mom, and Mom responds with this nonsense, but she will never be satisfied. Instead of celebrating her daughter for finally becoming aware of what it means to be a woman, to be human, she scolds her for never being satisfied. It is astonishing, the dialogue between the deaf that we experience. For this reason, in order to understand another person, including a son or daughter, one needs an experience of their own humanity, because without following our own human path, we cannot even understand our children. For this reason, I would like to end by having you listen to two songs. Rob, are you ready? This is a song from a very well-known and very popular movie. Bardi. No. You need to update yourselves. Where is this song that says, "What was I made for?" Whose is it? What is the title? What was I made for? What was I made for? It was usually float. Now I fall, and that's it. I knew it. But now, I'm not sure about what I was made for. What was I made for? Taking a turn, it was an ideal. It seemed so alive. It turns out that the image is not real. Only something you have paid for brings forth the question, but if this is not the answer, why was I created? The question resurfaces. Why me? Because I don't know how to feel, but I want to try. I don't know how to feel, but one day I might. One day I might. When the fun is over, I am sad. Don't tell my boyfriend. That is not what solitude was created for. Not even with the bond. And this raises the question again, but why was I created? Because I don't know how to feel, but I want to try. I don't know how to feel, but one day I might. I think I have forgotten how to be happy. Something that I am not, but something that I can be. Something that I wait for. Something that I am made for. Something that I am made for. Who will understand a girl like this? Will all these kids listen to this song? Because of the moment's boom. Who will be able to engage with them? This is the advantage of being a teacher, of dealing with young people. This is a gift because they do not allow us to give up, because they may tell us or not tell us, but they are watching to see if they find someone who answers this question. So in this sense, they are a benefit to us, not a misfortune, that we have to try to manage, but a challenge, because if they are not at that level of the game, we could give them the highest marks. But this is not answered. I still remember a boy, someone who worked in a school, doing the cleaning of the school. So he had a certain relationship with some students, especially with one who was a disaster. And then one day he brings it to me and says, "So, what do you say? That only with wine there are troubles?" I just had to ask her this question, but is that all you are? This girl was so amazed that they started to tell it at school. It took just one question to awaken in him a consciousness that he had reduced himself to causing trouble. But they are more than just trouble. In fact, they cause trouble because they cannot find answers to what they desire. On the contrary, let us not confuse symptoms with the cause, consequences with the origin. For this reason, if we do not intercept this, they will start to feel like a problem. That's why I make you sing another song, which I read earlier, where it essentially says, I am the problem. Taylor Swift, a boom, 3 boys. I have this thing where I grow older, but never wiser. One can grow old but not wise. As they say in Spanish, one can become rotten without going through being mature. Got it? Like this, old but never wise. They become my characters at night. When my depression works the night shift, all the people I have hidden are there in the room, and I shouldn't be left to myself. They come with the prices and the screws, ending up in crisis. I wake up screaming from the dream. One day I will watch you leave because you are tired of my schemes. It's me. Here I am the problem, not others. It is me. And for this reason, I will look directly at the sun, but never at the mirror, because in the mirror, I do not see myself. I must escape. I could look at everything except the mirror. Sometimes I feel like everyone is a little child, and I am the elephant in the summer, too big to get out. It shows on the hill between us and us. It shows on the hill between us and among us. Too big to go out, too big to go out, go out. Stumbling slowly towards your favorite city, pierced at the heart but never killed. You felt my secret anarchism that I mask as altruism. One can disguise the way of escaping oneself as altruism. One day I will watch you leave, and life will lose all its meaning. So am I the problem. And so on, meaning that similar things continue in the same manner. Let's take a moment to truly feel and experience it, immersing ourselves in the sensation and understanding the depth of what it means.
But you're never wiser. Midnights become my afternoons. Subtitles and review by QTSS. I should not be led to my own devices and contraptions. They come with prices and costs, and vices and bad habits. I end up in crisis. Still as, old as time, I wake up screaming and fantasizing.
legislator all this time. I wake up screaming and fantasizing. One day I'll watch as you're leaving and departing, and life will lose all its meaning and significance. directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. I have this dream. My daughter-in-law kills me for the money. She thinks I left them in the will. The family gathers and assembles around and reads it. And then someone screams and shouts out. She's laughing and chuckling up at us from hell and the underworld. It's me. I am the problem. It's me. It's me. I am the problem. It's me. It's me. Everybody agrees. Everybody agrees. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Time. Everybody agrees. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. This is the fascinating adventure we are involved in, because what kind of gaze should one who considers himself the problem receive to discover his dignity, his greatness?
Because you begin to have a moment of tenderness with yourself. One can learn this in the abstract. We learn by looking at our own humanity, by having tenderness towards ourselves. Otherwise, only reactions will arise in front of one or the other boy. So, if we do not engage in this kind of gaze that reveals the other, their humanity, as the most beautiful and precious thing they have, just as when we feel seen, in this way, each of us is not the problem. You are not a problem. You are fine as you are. It will be difficult for us to engage with the boys who are looking for such a gaze. For this, have a good adventure, guys.